Should we move on and talk about the game? Obviously,
was there a game at the weekend?
There was a game at the weekend.
I believe Arsenal went into a very difficult place for them. For them, not for others. For them, their record is not good.
Yes.
And they actually made a big decision in the game by a guy called Mikel Arteta, actually.
Right, and what did he do with your best friend Kai Havertz?
Huh?
What did he do with your best friend Kai Havertz?
Well, he did what we've been saying from day one. He did what we've been saying from the summer. He used two players in the end. One, Fabio Vieira, who's had a material impact in some of these games. And when Martinelli went off with the injury, he brought on Lisandro Trossard, who's also had a material impact in games recently. And that was able to get them the job done. I suppose one of the other talking points would be how long Eddie Nketiah can remain in the side when Gabriel Jesus is fit. But it was no surprise that Kai Havertz... well, I say it was no surprise. I wasn't entirely convinced when I looked at the team sheet whether he'd be playing or not, because I thought he might be a bit stubborn about it. But I think he had to have known himself, having watched the games and saw the players' lack of confidence in his contributions or lack of it. And he had other players that are more than capable of coming in and doing a very good job, as Vieira and particularly Trossard did. So it ultimately, amongst all this gobbledygoo, was a very good result for Arsenal.
If I was to respond by saying they get the win, but we've yet to see Arsenal kind of at their swashbuckling best, in comparison to how they played last season, will you just shout at me and say, well, they went to Everton, they always lose there, just they get the points and that's good?
Why am I shouting at you?
I don't know. I just feel
you got my goat up with this goalkeeper stuff.
Oh, well, I noticed, but now I'm moving on, so I think you could also do the same.
I'm finding it difficult. I mean, no. The answer is simple, right? Arsenal are not at their best. Shaka is not at his best at the moment, at times. Nketiah does some good stuff, but the end product is not there. I suppose Declan Rice has been rock solid, and there's no great surprise in there. But no, Arsenal have not been as fluent as they were last year, and that's how they just had to get some. They just have to get some results until they can get in their rhythm.
Right.
And I think that was the important thing for them at the weekend, and did that.
Why aren't they finding that rhythm at the moment, Kieran?
I mean, listen, they would have... Last season would have taken a lot out of them, mentally, physically. So it's going to take them a while, and it's also taken a lot of other teams a while.
They've had 2 months in the summer, Kieran, come on.
He was agreeing with you. He was on your side for a bit now. He just trying to ostracise everyone.
Listen, last season's gone. Come on.
It is, but think about it, Craig, man. They lost in the last however many games of the season, by a whisker. Whichever way you want to put it, that's going to affect you mentally. But what I like is that they're still getting results. I feel that Shaka, I would just like to see him rest a little bit more, and I know it's hard because he's that good, but I feel like last season, a lot of times they were, comfortably in the lead at times, and he's still on the pitch. And I'm like, just give the guy as much rest as you can, because this season you got Champions League, and I don't really see anyone that comes in and does a job like Shaka in the squad, when he does need a rest. And inevitably, the longer he keeps playing at this level, the sheer amount of minutes that he's racked up at this age for club and country. And I know a lot of people are like, he's young, he should be playing as much as he can. It just doesn't work like that. Like he's racking up some serious yards, and that's the only thing that concerns me at the moment.
He's broken the record. Well, he broke it a few games ago, didn't he?
Yeah.
For constant appearances in the team.
Yes.
And the other thing I always notice with Shaka, and I've mentioned this before, is that the way that he plays, when he comes to get the ball with his back to play, he takes a lot of punishment, I think. No, a lot of players do, but he soaks up that punishment down the calves and Achilles.
Right.
A lot. He gets a lot of raking of the calves and the Achilles. And some people will say, well, everybody gets that. No, everybody doesn't get that. It just depends on how you're prepared to take the ball. And obviously he's a marked man because of his talent. So whenever he plays the better teams, or any team in the Premier League, but particularly the better teams, they're really getting tight on him. The full-backs or the wide players are doubling up. So he takes a lot of punishment as well. But to be fair to him, he's not playing brilliant at the moment, but he picks himself up, brushes himself down and gets on with it again. But there is going to come a time that he is going to need to be one of the players to be rotated.
Well, this game's coming thick and fast for him at the moment, of course, with the Champions League kicking off this week. Arsenal got a good group, actually. When you just to remind you how they will be, or who they'll be playing against in Group B.
You could rotate your goalies in this.
There you go.
Play none. Play no goalie.
Play Ramsdale.
Tell you what.
Play Thomas Partey in goal.
Let me tell you, this is going to be a long week now. It started off this week.
And it's raining, there's no golf. Arsenal 7-1 on to advance. They're going to make it through the group, that won't be a problem. What's interesting when you take a look at their odds to win it all, Kieran, they currently sit 4th behind Madrid, Bayern Munich and Manchester City. Is that about right in your opinion?
Yeah, I think so. Listen, it's been, 6 years since they've been back in the Champions League. So, it might be a little bit of a shock to the system from especially last season, only playing once a week. And there's a lot of players that haven't probably played in Europe. I'm not sure, Trossards and so forth. So it will be new to the squad, but they looked well equipped at the moment, and I like their chances of getting out of the groups for sure.
And then at the weekend, Kieran, North London derby. What a match that will be. Arsenal against Spurs. It's obviously the last time you're on before that match. What a mouth-watering prospect this is for everyone involved.
Yeah, and to be honest, how I was feeling about Spurs with Harry Kane leaving. I was worried that the North London derby was going to lose its excitement because I just didn't fancy Spurs. But I'm actually happy that they've actually started well, so it's nicely poised for the weekend. But I still feel that Arsenal are going to come up trumps. I reckon Tottenham are going to be brought down a few pegs this weekend.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Oh, and what's your prediction for the score?
At the Emirates, with the way it's rocking at the moment, I'm going to go 3-1. 3-1
3-1 to Arsenal from...
What about that graphic?
I didn't see the graphic. Which one now?
The Champions League graphic.
Right, what...
I mean, there is some garbage in that. Man United, 20-1.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, I thought that when I saw United at 20-1.
20-1
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty shocking, yeah?
All right, you going to put a bet on?
Huh?
You going to put a bet on? Is that what you're saying?
Absolute pants. 20-1 in the Champions League.